Hi, and welcome back to AskDRTK. And I know a lot of you are looking for a simple audio solution to use for voice calls, Zoom, team meetings. Maybe you're going to use it for live streaming, you're on the go. So today we're going to look at a brand new USB condenser microphone from Furine. So in this video, I'm going to unbox the microphone. It comes with the mic as well as a desk stand. So what we'll do is we'll test it out on the desk, and then I'll go ahead and mount it up on the boom arm so we can give it the best chance to give us some great sound. We'll go through some physical tests, some audio tests, compare it to a few other microphones, and see what we think. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up this brand new microphone from Furine. This company's based out of China. They do have representation in the EU and UK as well. We'll go ahead and open this up. And the box is actually fairly decent. Inside, I guess, there's a foam windscreen / pop filter, kind of folded in half, so we'll see how that works out. We get a package with a cable, and it's USB-A, but there is a USB-C adapter, some instructions, and we'll pull out what else do we get here. It looks like this is the microphone mount, actually. This will let us put it onto a standard mic stand. You see it has a 5/8 to 3/8 adapter as well. Then it looks like we have a little desk stand. It's just a kind of a 3-pronged tripod that folds open. And then finally the microphone itself. So we'll go ahead and open that up. On the microphone we have a gain control, looks like a mute button as well, volume and headphone for zero latency monitoring. The Furine CM1001 is a condenser microphone with an integral USB interface. It includes both USB-A and a USB-A to C adapter. It has a frequency response of 20 to 20,000 hertz, a cardioid pickup pattern, a sensitivity of -36 dB with a max SPL of 115 dB. The signal-to-noise ratio is rated at 78 dB with a dynamic range of 117 dB. The interface has a sample rate of 192 kilohertz at 24-bit, and it includes zero latency monitoring with a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack on the microphone. And now I'm on the Furine 1001 condenser USB microphone. I have this connected directly up to my PC using the port actually on the front of the PC, so it's a USB-A, but again, this does come with a USB-A to C adapter. I also have my headphones hooked up for zero latency monitoring, and I can tell you that everything sounds like it's in sync. And as you can see, I have it on the desk in front of me, mounted to the little tripod stand that it comes with. So this would give you everything out of the box that you need to put it. It's approximately 18 inches away from my mouth, and this is what the sound is. And again, this is what you can expect any kind of time when you have a distance to the microphone. I can certainly hear some reverberation in the background, but it's actually fairly clear, all things being considered. I have the gain on the microphone turned up to about 80–85%, so quite a bit of the way on the dial here to get sufficient gain. And now I'll go ahead and mount the microphone up on my boom arm, and we'll do some physical and audio tests and then some mic comparisons. And now I have the microphone mounted up here on my warm audio boom arm. I have it about 6 inches away from my mouth, so this is about normally how I would use it. And I have it slightly pointed across my mouth to try and minimize plosives. And that's the first thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and test this for plosives. People, because. And I have to say, I think that did a pretty good job of rejecting plosives. We'll try it out with a pop filter as well, just for comparison. People, because. Yeah, and this microphone does a really good job of rejecting plosives. I gotta say, I'm a little surprised. I'm gonna throw the foam filter on it as well. And now we have the foam filter on. People, because. Yeah, I'm not really hearing plosives from this mic. Now we'll go ahead and test this microphone's ability to reject background noise. So I'm typing on my keyboard now, and this will give you an idea of how much of that it picks up in the background. And now we'll go ahead and we'll check the proximity effect on this microphone as well as some distance tests. So I'll get right up on the microphone, and since the plosives test did so well, I'm pretty confident in being close to it here. This is the proximity effect as I'm right beside the microphone. And now I'm back to about 6 inches off the microphone, and this is how it sounds. We'll go back to about a foot off the microphone now. This is the sound you're going to get. And now I'm about 2 feet away from the microphone. This is the sound. And finally, I'm at about 3 feet away from the microphone, and this is the kind of sound you're going to get from the Furine 1001. And now we'll go ahead and we'll test the handling noise on this microphone. It's not a handheld microphone, but either you're going to have it sitting on your desk or mounted on a boom arm. So let's see what kind of noise it makes. I'll tap on the boom arm. And the microphone definitely did pick up some handling noise, but I didn't think it was unreasonable. And now we'll go ahead and do some comparison tests with other microphones. So of course we're starting out first here. I'm on the Furine CM1001. I have this microphone's gain set at about 2 o'clock. There's no processing applied to this microphone. This is the sound you get out of the box. And I have to say I was quite impressed with the plosive test and even the handling test up front. So let's go ahead and compare this to a few other microphones. And now you can hear me on the Behringer XM8500. I have it connected directly to my Focusrite Scarlett 8i6. Gain set about 4 o'clock on this dynamic microphone. It's fairly gain hungry. This again, no processing. This is the sound that you get. I chose this microphone because it's in the same kind of price range as the Furine CM1001. But of course, this microphone requires an interface. So if you don't have one, that's going to be a consideration. And if you're thinking about portability, for the USB microphone, again, with this microphone, you need to carry an interface with you. And now we're back on the Furine CM1001. And again, gain hasn't changed, still at 2 o'clock, no processing on this microphone. Let's go ahead and switch over to another mic to compare. Okay, and now I'm on the newer NW40. This is another very inexpensive dynamic microphone. Comes in usually around $35, $40. Again, so in that same price range as the CM01. But again, requires an interface. And once again, we're back on the Furine CM1001. Gain still set at 2 o'clock, no processing. Let's go ahead and test it against one more microphone. And now you're listening to me on the Audio-Technica AT2020. Again, I have this connected directly to my Scarlett 8i6. I have the gain at about 1230 on this microphone, 48 volts phantom power, no processing applied to this microphone. And I wanted to include it in this comparison because it really is kind of a standard in terms of entry-level condenser microphones. And so I think it's good to compare to what we get for a little more money versus the CM1001. And of course, Audio-Technica makes a version of this with USB instead of XLR. So for those of you that aren't wanting to go with an interface as an option, you could go for the USB model and maintain that simplicity and portability that we of course get with the Furine CM1001. And here I am back on the Furine CM1001, and I have to say that after listening back to the recordings through my Focusrite Scarlett 8i6 with the headphones, there's a lot of irregularities in the background noise and interference with this microphone. I'm not sure what it is. I've done a lot of work to isolate my PC from noise. You know, it has a pure sine wave UPS. Everything is connected through triplet isobars so that each device that I have is individually isolated from the others for RFI, EMI. I also have ferrite cores on my GPU power cords internally in the PC. So really, there's a lot of work. I mean, and it shows in the lack of interference on the recordings I make through the interface. So I'm not sure what's going on with this. We'll go ahead and I'll actually turn on RN noise suppression here in OBS Studio. We'll see if it makes a difference with this microphone. And now I've turned on RN noise, and so you tell me, does this clean it up? Is it usable with RN noise? Would that keep the noise out of the picture? Again, I find it very difficult to recommend a microphone that requires a noise plug-in right out of the gate to be usable. But nonetheless, maybe this cleans it up. Maybe it makes it workable considering the price and use case. You tell me in the comments what you think. Now we'll go ahead and do the processed audio demonstration using Neutron 3, and we'll see what we can get out of this for sound. I'll leave the noise suppression enabled for that so that you can see what might be possible. And now we're on the CM1001 from Furine. I have Neutron 3 from Isotope set up here, and we're using the podcast preset. So this is the sound you get from this microphone. Again, gain is still at 2 o'clock. I'm about 6 inches away from the microphone. This is the podcast preset. Now let's go ahead and switch to another one. We'll go to Loud Broadcast Voiceover. And so this is the Loud Broadcast Voiceover. Not too much bass here, but really presence forward. And the idea is, of course, to have your voice carry over background noise and distraction. So this is the sound that we get here with loud broadcast voiceover. And now I've switched things up to Big Broadcast 3, and of course this introduces a lot of low-end bass into here, and I can see from the wave that this microphone is picking up some information at that 100 Hertz area and slightly below, so you should be able to get some bass out of this. This again, for those of you that like that broadcasty sound, this is an idea of what you could get. And again, keep in mind, none of these processings are tailored to the microphone, room, or my voice. If you're interested in learning how to process microphones for dialogue using, again, those 3 characteristics, check out my video where I go through this in detail with free tools. And even though I was able to clean up the sound using RN noise and Neutron 3 during the processed audio demonstration, I still have some reservations about this microphone. And it really didn't do a great job of rejecting background noise. I mean, it is a condenser microphone, definitely picked up the keys, sounds around the room. So if you have a very noisy space, it's not ideal. But I do have my fans ramped up on the PC in this room as I'm recording this, so there's a fair amount of background noise. It's not doing a bad job of it, and definitely with a little bit of noise reduction processing, I think you could clean that up. And even though I was able to clean the sound up using RN noise and Neutron 3 in OBS Studio, the issue I have here is that's fine if you're in OBS or if you're in a DAW that allows you to use a plug-in chain. But if you want to use this natively in an app like Zoom or Teams, many of you are just going to want to connect this up, and it doesn't have that plug-in functionality on those platforms. Yes, you could go ahead and create an audio chain and have a virtual mic output from OBS or DAW to use with Zoom, but again, I think that's a layer of complexity that most people don't want to go through. So it's very difficult to recommend a microphone that, in my opinion, isn't usable out of the box. So I'm going to recommend a pass on this microphone. You let me know what you think. You know, it's under $30. It is what it is. But let me know what you think in the comments below. But for me, I think definitely it would be a pass on this mic. I hope you enjoyed this review, found it useful. If you did, think about smashing that like button. It helps other people see the review. And in the case of this mic, I think it's kind of important that they do before they just click purchase. So again, thanks for watching and much appreciated. Take care. We'll see you next time.